There really isn't an employee of Gorman Rupp, a supplier of the company, a customer of the company, a citizen of Richland County, a visitor to Richland County that Jeff in some way, shape, or form hasn't had some impact on it.
It's hard to find a CEO in a public company that has, I think, that passion for the business that Jeff has, because it's really his baby and he's taking care of a legacy.
Probably one of the worst things that you could ever do to a son or a daughter is to force them into the business. I think you've got to show them what the business is and let them make the decision. And I think in our case, it's worked pretty darn well.
I started there in 1980, and Jeff was already there then, and I believe that Jeff was in sales at that time. So I saw him progress through the ranks to the point where he is now. And I've always seen Jeff as someone anxious to learn. He's just set a really good example for others to learn the job and be patient, and good things will come.
Whether it's through the Aviation Commission or what can we do to make this better or that better, he's always about, bringing things up to a higher standard. And he's shown that with his company, which started at a very high bar already. Jeff stepped in there, he paid his dues and worked his way to the top, and Gorman Rupp is a world-class company under his leadership.
I got to see Gorman Rupp really grow from their place on Bowman Street to move out to the airport in ultimately almost 1 million square feet.
We're, without question, one of the leading pump companies in the world, not only in size, but in the diversity of the products and the markets that we sell. We literally go from pumps that you can hold in your hand that are made down in Belleville to ones that you can walk inside.
Gorman Rupp has, I think, boots on the ground in 6 countries around the world and probably is represented in 145 countries through sales. They're a very, very well-known pump manufacturer around the world and well-respected, and often copied.
It's not unusual to get a request for repair parts for pumps that have been out in the field in operation for 60, 70 years. And damn it, we still got repair parts for it. That's pretty good customer service.
People quite honestly will say, you're one of the best companies we deal with.
Well, I think a lot of it boils down to taking care of the customer. We have it placarded all over the place. If you don't take care of the customer, somebody else will.
I've never seen him ask us to sacrifice a customer situation for a short-term dollar. In fact, he'd be upset, I think, if we did. I have seen him sacrifice a short-term dollar to ensure that we maintain a long-term customer.
Being a manufacturing manager, I've had customers, when I couldn't deliver a product fast enough, I actually called Jeff, and Jeff's go, hey, what can you do? We've worked 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we've pulled the rabbit out of the hat and delivered to that customer, because that's Jeff's word.
One of our biggest advantages is bringing customers into our facility and not only letting them see the shop, the plant, but meet the people. And that does a lot to sell any product. If you can show the people that are making it, putting it together, have pride in their work.
The company and the employees are always in the front of his mind. It's always what's first and foremost is the success of the company, but then again, the satisfaction of having a wonderful workplace for his employees.
It all boils down to the people, getting the right people in the right slots and let them go.
I think a leader encourages his team to get the training, have the confidence, have the encouragement and the authority to carry out the mission. And I think Jeff is really good at that.
He doesn't micromanage you. He doesn't want to micromanage you. It's freeing, although it puts a lot of pressure on you because you want to meet up to his expectations. So it makes everybody work harder.
This is a family company. And I think that speaks a lot to the way Jeff has treated people and the persona that Jeff has.
If you didn't know his name was on the outside of the building, you wouldn't know his name's on the outside of the building because he doesn't come across like that. He values everybody. He values what you have to say. He listens to you, and that comes across even when he walks by you in the hall.
So very easy, humble guy to work with, very approachable. So I can go into his office and just say hi and just talk. He enjoys the people that he works with, and he cares about them. You know, over 35 years, that's what's important to me.
The family, we have a lot of families. We have a lot of second, third, and maybe even some fourth generations coming along. So that's pretty impressive in today's world.
Jeffrey is always working. Even when the children were little, he would come home at 6:30. We'd eat at 7, and then he'd go right back to work and stay working until 11 or 11:30. At that time, he was doing 2 jobs. He was the general manager and the president, and he was relentless. He worked constantly. He was also building that international business over in Europe and Asia and Africa. He's an amazing man who just loves having a goal and finishing that goal.
Jeff is that kind of leader that brings people along. He's interested in making things better, and it's pretty much community directed.
A community is only as good as the people that are in it. So if you want to have a good community, you have to participate in that community.
He's so encouraging of everyone else to give their time and their talent to area community organizations, nonprofits, civic ventures, even so far as giving employees time away from work to do those things.
As a staff, one day we sat down and attempted to list all of the things that employees were involved in the community. It was pages. And I think one of the reasons is they see that example in Jeff.
I probably served on most of the boards in the community, I think. Leadership Unlimited, I was chairman of that. The Richland County Foundation, current chairman of the Airport Commission, chairman of the Ohio Chamber of Commerce.
He's been on, the hospital board. He's been on the Renaissance board.
He does a lot of good things for a lot of the small businesses in town and the schools. They know Jeff, and if there's a need out there, Jeff's usually right on top of it.
The 179th was kind of on the chopping block. Jeff kind of mobilized everybody, including Portman in Washington, and got him on board to save it.
RCDG is one of the things that he was very, very strong about starting. We knew that Mansfield needed revitalization, and those men got together and kind of started the grassroots effort of improving Mansfield and the surrounding areas.
You know, they could have gone somewhere else when they decided to move from Bowman Street, but I think Jeff didn't want to do that. I think he loves Mansfield, he loves Richland County, and he really tries to make it a better place for everybody.
Jeff's legacy is going to be one that he carried on, a family tradition over 3 generations. He took something that was already very good and he was able to make it better.
I don't know how any father could be more proud of his son than I am. And it's just very gratifying.
I would hope 100 years from now, when people look back at this time in the Gorman-Rupp history, that the management by the Gorman family was satisfactory, that everybody prospered, and it was good times for Gorman-Rupp and the community.